Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. Empress Dowager Cixi was the de facto ruler of the late Qing dynasty. She had a complex relationship with the last 5 emperors of the Qing dynasty, Daoguang, Xianfeng, Tongzhi, Guangxu, and Puyi, interwoven with blood ties, legal standing, and politics. These relationships not only influenced her life but also shaped the fate of the Qing Empire. First, Emperor Daoguang. Daoguang was the reign title of the 8th emperor of the Qing dynasty, Zhou Mining, the second son and the eldest legitimate son of the Qing emperor, Yangon. He ruled from February 3, 1821, to February 25, 1850. In terms of family relations, Empress Dowager Cixi was the daughter-in-law of Emperor Daoguang, but Daoguang never met her because he passed away in February 1850, while Cixi entered the palace in 1852. Emperor Daoguang was a typical ruler who tried to maintain the empire but lacked the necessary boldness. He spent much effort trying to govern the Qing Empire, but the results were disappointing. He reformed officialdom, started grain transportation, revised the salt system, and quelled rebellions, but these measures failed to stop the Qing Empire's decline amid the currents of the times. After the First Opium War, Daoguang struggled to cope with the aftermath, rejecting reforms, which led to increasing internal and external troubles. Daoguang was a weary emperor. In addition to his diligent governance, he was also frugal, strictly controlling his personal material needs. He was so frugal that he would split a penny in 2 and reduce any possible expenditure. As an emperor, he often wore dragon robes patched up, which led his ministers to imitate him in trying to please him. Objectively, Daoguang was not greedy or violent. He was diligent, self-disciplined, and frugal, making him a virtuous ruler. Second, Empress Dowager Cixi's husband, Emperor Xianfeng. Emperor Xianfeng, Zhou, the 9th emperor of the Qing dynasty, was the 4th son of Emperor Daoguang. He ruled from 1850 to 1861 and was the last emperor to hold real power in the late Qing dynasty. Xianfeng had suffered from smallpox in his childhood, leaving his face marked with pockmarks. In his youth, he had fallen from a horse while hunting, leaving him with a permanent limp, making him a crippled emperor. Emperor Xianfeng had a bad reputation, with later generations doubting his abilities and comparing him unfavorably to his younger brother, Prince Guangxu. It was said that during Emperor Daoguang's illness, he summoned both Xianfeng and Yisun to his bedside, asking them how the empire should be managed after his death. Yisun spoke eloquently, while Xianfeng only expressed concern for his father's health, weeping uncontrollably. Daoguang was moved by his filial piety and decided to appoint him as the heir. During the Second Opium War, British and French forces entered Beijing, looted, and burned the old summer palace. Xianfeng passed the responsibility to his brother, Prince Gong, to negotiate with the foreigners while he fled to Qingda to avoid the crisis. In reality, Emperor Xianfeng was not as incapable as people often imagined. At the beginning of his reign, he tried hard to implement reforms, punish corruption, and strengthen the empire, but it was all in vain. He inherited a broken empire, and no matter how hard he tried, he could not prevent its collapse. Emperor Xianfeng's personal moral conduct was far below that of his father, Emperor Daoguang. He was notorious for his lustful nature, keeping numerous women in the imperial harem, but he was never satisfied and continued to hold selection ceremonies to add to his harem. In 1852, Yahenera, Empress Dowager Cixi, entered his harem through one of these selections and was made a consort. Due to her beauty and talents, she quickly caught the emperor's attention and was promoted to imperial concubine in 1856. In 1857, she gave birth to Zai Chun, Emperor Tongzhi, and was elevated to the rank of imperial noble consort. Due to his excessive indulgence in pleasures, his drinking and opium use, and concerns over state affairs, Xianfeng's health rapidly deteriorated at a young age. His talented concubine frequently assisted in reviewing imperial edicts, which gradually sparked her interest in power. In 1861, Emperor Xianfeng died in the Rihe Palace. Before his death, he had designated Zai Chun as the crown prince and had given Empress Dowager Cixi the royal seal, and also appointed 8 regents, including Suzhan, to assist the crown prince in managing the empire, to prevent power from slipping away. When Zai Chun ascended the throne, he took the reign title, Qixiang, later changed to Tongzhi. His mother, Yahenera, was given the title Empress Dowager Cixi, and the Empress Dowager was given the title Empress Dowager Qing. Together, they held the power and began a struggle for power with the regents. In the Xinyo coup, they joined forces with Prince Gong Yisan to defeat Suzhan, who was executed, and the 2 Empress Dowagers gained control of the empire. Third, Cixi's son, Emperor Tongzhi. Emperor Xianfeng was infamously lustful, keeping numerous concubines, yet he only had one son with Cixi, Emperor Tongzhi, Zai Chun. Emperor Tongzhi was one of the least influential emperors in Qing history. He spent his entire life overshadowed by his mother, Empress Dowager Cixi. Before he came of age, all military and state affairs were decided by Cixi. Even after reaching adulthood, Cixi repeatedly delayed his assumption of power, claiming he was not yet ready. It wasn't until he turned 18 that Cixi was forced to allow him to take the throne, but she still frequently intervened in government affairs, citing concerns about his lazy governance. Tongzhi's marriage life was also heavily influenced by Cixi. He and his mother clashed over the issue of choosing an empress. He preferred to marry the daughter of the scholar Chongqi, but Cixi favored another woman. In the end, Tongzhi insisted on marrying Chongqi's daughter, which angered Cixi. When the empress became pregnant, Cixi secretly had her poisoned, causing the death of the unborn child. This also directly led to Tongzhi's inability to have heirs. In 1875, Emperor Tongzhi died at the age of 19. It is said that he lamented to his empress about the hardships caused by his mother's interference, revealing that he was a tragic figure, a young man without a father and with a mother who did not care for him. Emperor Tongzhi ruled for 14 years, but his reign lasted only 3 years, with constant interference from his mother. During his time, the Qing dynasty's reforms showed some early results, leading to a period of relative stability known as the Tongzhi Restoration. However, this restoration was largely attributed to his mother, Empress Dowager Cixi, rather than to him personally. Fourth, Emperor Guangxu. Emperor Guangxu, Eisen Joro Zaitian, was the 11th emperor of the Qing dynasty. He was the second son of Empress Dowager Cixi's younger sister Yahenera Wanzheng and Prince Chen Yishuan. His elder brother died young. From Cixi's side, Guangxu was her nephew, and from Emperor Xianfeng's side, Guangxu should have called Cixi his fourth aunt. After the death of Emperor Tongzhi, who had no heirs, and Emperor Xianfeng having only one son, Tongzhi, the line of succession from the Xianfeng family came to an end. During discussions about the next heir, some suggested that Emperor Tongzhi's line should continue, meaning a new emperor should be selected from the Puyi generation. This suggestion was opposed by Prince Zhuang, Yishuan. Then, the Grand Council proposed that the son of Prince Gong Yisan, Zidong, should take the throne. However, Cixi wanted to maintain control over the government, and if Zidong succeeded, she would lose her influence. Therefore, she appointed the second son of Prince Chen, her nephew Zaitian, to inherit the throne, adopting him as the successor to Emperor Xianfeng. This decision shocked Yishuan, who had clearly witnessed the oppression Emperor Tongzhi faced. He cried out loudly and collapsed in despair. Thus, the 4-year-old Zaitian was chosen as the heir. Like Emperor Tongzhi, Emperor Guangxu faced restrictions after ascending the throne. In 1889, at the age of 18, Zetian assumed power, but although Cixi nominally allowed him to govern, she continued to control the court. Many of the ministers were loyal to her. After the disastrous defeat in the First Sino-Japanese War, 1894 to 1895, Emperor Guangxu became determined to reform. However, his reforms were rushed and ill-suited to the current situation, and they faced fierce opposition from conservatives led by Cixi. The conflict between them intensified. Emperor Guangxu, in a hasty decision, tried to launch a coup to overthrow Cixi's faction, but his plan was exposed. He was then imprisoned by Cixi and lost his freedom, while real power returned to her hands. Subsequently, Emperor Guangxu was tightly controlled by Cixi. During his imprisonment, he rarely expressed opinions on state affairs, except opposing declaring war on 11 countries. His life became like that of a puppet. During his confinement, he studied law and read legal books from other countries. He once confided to Princess Derliang, expressing his frustrations, "I wish to revive China, but you know I cannot make decisions, I cannot act according to my will." In October of the 34th year of Guangxu's reign, 1908, he fell gravely ill, and Cixi was also unwell. Shortly after, Emperor Guangxu suddenly died at the age of 38. The following day, Cixi passed away as well. Later, experts found large amounts of arsenic in the remaining hair of Emperor Guangxu, indicating poisoning. It was clear that Cixi, fearing political retribution after her death, had him poisoned before her own death. 5th, Cixi and Puyi. Empress Dowager Cixi had no direct blood relation to Puyi. He was the son of Prince Chun Yisan's fifth son, Xianfeng, and the half-brother of Emperor Guangxu. Cixi's younger sister, Yahenara Wanzheng, was the primary wife of Prince Chun, which made Xianfeng nominally Cixi's nephew, and Puyi, her nominal great-nephew. During the illness of Emperor Guangxu, as he had no son, Cixi ordered that Puyi be brought into the palace for adoption, clearly intending to make him the emperor. It is said that when Xianfeng brought the order to Puyi's grandmother, Lu Jiashi, she fainted because she feared her grandson would suffer the same fate as the previous emperors, Tongzhi and Guangxu. After the death of Emperor Guangxu, Cixi commanded that Puyi succeed the throne, inheriting the line from Emperor Tongzhi. She arranged for her niece, Empress Dowager Cixi, Emperor Guangxu's wife, to act as regent. The following year, the reign title was changed to Xianfeng, and Puyi became the Xianfeng Emperor. 3 years later, the Xinhai Revolution broke out in Wuchang, and the Qing dynasty collapsed in an instant. Puyi became the last emperor of the Qing dynasty. Regarding Empress Dowager Cixi, history often portrays her negatively, but it is important to view her as one of the rare female political figures in Chinese history. During the tumultuous years of the late Qing, she largely maintained the stability of the vast Qing Empire, which shows that she was not a simple character. Her greatest historical blunder was her reckless decision to declare war on 11 countries simultaneously, a foolish move that brought immense disaster to the Chinese people. This responsibility must certainly lie with Cixi. This is History and Culture channel. Like and subscribe are the biggest help and support for us. Thank you everyone. See you next time.